We're reading Junie B. Jones and a Little Monkey Business, and we're on chapter 7. Remember, Junie B. was just at recess with her friends Lucille and Grace, and she traded them a whole bunch of stuff. Well, not really traded, she kind of conned them out of some things. We're gonna find out what happens when she gets back to room 9, and when Mrs. finds out, oh dear, it could be bad. Let's see what happens. I wore my brand new things back to room 9. They looked very beautiful on me, except my new pink high tops were too big, and my feet were very slidey around in there. Before I sat down, I looked at Lucille's red chair. Then I tapped on her. "I'm sorry, Lucille," I said, "but red is my favorite color, and so I would like that chair of yours, I think." Lucille looked very upset at me. "But red is my favorite color too, Junie B." I patted her. "I know, Lucille," I said nicely, "but you still must give it to me. It's the rules." And so she did. "Now I'm the winner for sure, aren't I?" she asked. I made my shoulders go up and down. "I don't know, Lucille," I said. "That Grace said she might have some cash in her purse." After that, Mrs. passed out construction paper, and we cut out autumn leaves for our bulletin board. Autumn is the school word for fall. We sprinkled our leaves with shiny glitter. Also, I sprinkled some glitter on my hair, and I pasted some on my eyebrows. Then Mrs. confiscated my shiny glitter jar. Confiscate is the school word for yanked it right out of my hand. Just then, Mrs. Gutzman knocked on our door, and she came into room 9 with our milk and cookies. "Hooray! Hooray for Mrs. Gutzman!" I shouted at her. "Guess what, Mrs. Gutzman? I get 3 snacks today. See? I have 3 snack tickets." Mrs. walked over to my chair. She stared down at me. "How did you get 2 extra tickets, Junie B?" she asked. "Did you find them out on the playground?" Then she took my 2 extra tickets away, and she held them way high in the air. "Did anyone lose their snack tickets today?" she said to the class. "No," I hollered. "Those are my tickets. Lucille and Grace gave them to me." Mrs. raised her eyebrows. "Lucille, did you give Junie B your snack ticket today?" she asked. "Yes," said Lucille. "That's because she made me." "No, I did not, you dumb Lucille," I said. "I did not make you." Mrs. said, "Be quiet," to me. She folded her arms. "Grace, did you give your snack ticket to Junie B too?" Then that Grace started to cry because she thought she was in trouble. Mrs. tapped her foot. "Please come get your snack ticket, Grace," she said. And so then that Grace walked to my table in just her socks. And Mrs. made squinty eyes at her feet. "Where are your shoes, Grace?" she said. That's when big fat baby Grace started crying very harder, and she pointed at her shoes. Mrs. peeped under my table. "Junie B. Jones," she hollered, "why are you wearing Grace's shoes?" Mrs. sounded dangerous. "Because," I said, kind of scared. "Because why?" said Mrs. "Because it's the rules," I explained. Then Mrs. bended down very close to my ear. "What rules?" "The rules for who gets to be the first one to see my monkey brother," I said. Mrs. rolled her eyes way back in her head. "Put your own shoes back on and come with me, young lady," she said. Then me and her walked into the hall together, and she made me tell her what happened on the playground. After that, I had to give Lucille back the locket and the sweater with the Scotty dog on it, and I had to give Grace back the real genuine fake ring from cereal. Then Mrs. wrote a note, and she said for me to take it to the office. The office is where the boss of the school lives. His name is Principal. Yes, but I don't think I would like to go down there today, I said, or else my mother might get mad at me. Mrs. tapped her foot. Then she took hold of my hand. Let's go, young lady. March, she said. And so then me and her marched to the office. March is the school word for pulled me way too fast. Chapter 8. Me and Principal. The school office is a scary place. It has loud ringing phones and a typing lady who is a stranger and a row of chairs where bad kids sit. Mrs. plopped me in a blue one. Wait here, she said. Yeah, only I'm not bad, I whispered just to myself. Then I pulled my sweater on my head so nobody would see me in that bad kid's chair. After that, I peeked down my long sleeve and I saw Mrs. out of the handhole. She was knocking on the principal's door. Then she went in there and my heart felt very puppy because she was tattling on me, I think. After a while, she came back out. Principal came with her. Principal has a baldy head, which looks like rubber. Also, he has big hands and heavy shoes and a suit made out of black. Could I see you in my office for a minute, Junie B? He said. And so then I had to go in there all by myself. And I sat in a big wood chair and Principal made me take the sweater off of my head. So what's this all about? He said. Why do you think your teacher brought you down here today? Because, I said very quiet. Because why? Said Principal. Because that Grace shot off her big fat mouth, I explained. Then Principal folded his arms and said for me to start at the beginning. And so I did. First, I told him about how I spent the night at Grandpa's house. He had delicious waffles for breakfast, I said. And I had 5 of them, only my grandpa didn't know where I put them all, except I put them way in here. Then I opened my mouth and showed Principal where my waffles went. After that, I told him about how Grandma Miller came home from the hospital and she told me I had a monkey brother for really and honest and truly. And so then I told the children at show and tell, I said. And at recess, Lucille and that Grace started giving me lots of pretty stuff because they want to be the first to see him. Except for too bad for me, I said. Because when we came inside, Mrs. found out about the snack tickets and then that dumb Grace shot off her big fat mouth about her shoes. And so I got marched down here and I had to sit in the bad kid's chair. Then I smoothed my skirt. The end, I said very nicely. Principal rubbed his head that looks like rubber. Junie B, maybe we should go back to when your grandmother came home from the hospital, he said. Can you remember exactly what she said about your brother being a monkey? I scrunched my eyes real tight to remember. Yes, I said. Grandma Miller said he was the cutest little monkey she ever saw. Then Principal closed his eyes. He said kind of quiet. Now I get it. After that, he smiled a little bit. You see, Junie B, when your grandmother called your brother a little monkey, she didn't mean he was a real monkey. She just meant he was, well, cute. I know he's cute, I said. That's because all monkeys are cute, except for I don't like the big kind that can kill you. Principal shook his head. No, Junie B, that's not what I mean. I mean your brother isn't really a monkey at all. He's just a little baby boy. I made a frowny face. No, he is not a little baby boy, I told him. He's a real alive monkey. He's a baby monkey with black furry hair and long fingers and toes. You could ask my Grandma Miller if you don't believe me. And so guess what Principal did? He called her, that's what. He called Grandma Miller right up on the phone. And then he talked to her. And then I talked to her. Hey, Grandma, I said very shouty. Guess what just happened down here? Principal said that my baby brother isn't real, alive monkey. Only he is, because you told me that, remember? You said he was a monkey for real and honest and truly. Then Grandma Miller said she was very sorry, but she didn't mean he was a real monkey. She just meant he was cute. Just like Principal explained to me. And so then I felt very droopy inside. Yeah, only what about all his black hair and his long fingers and toes? I said. And what about his bed that looks like a cage? And the wallpaper with the Jungle Friends on it? But Grandma Miller kept on saying that my new baby brother was just a regular cute baby. And so finally I didn't want to talk to her anymore and I hanged up the phone. Then I bended my head way down and my eyes got a little bit of wet in them. Darn it, I said very quiet. After that, Principal gave me a tissue and he said, I'm sorry, to me. Then he held my hand and me and him walked back to room 9. Well, what do you think about that? I guess Junie B didn't really have a monkey for a baby brother. So we're going to have to come back for chapter 9 and 10 and see what happens. Do you think she'll get to see her baby brother? We'll find out. Thanks, friends. I'm so glad that you joined me for this book. We'll see you later.